day, and thank you for joining us on the Midday Show live on Echo Television International. We are glad to have you today. I hope you have planned on traveling this year. I hope you have planned on going to different places to explore this life. As we said, you only live once. So make sure you do something exciting in this life this year. So at least you get happy with other people and give other people the right to be happy as well. We're going to be talking about Cuba, and then I hope you are ready to go on the ride with us today. I have Prudence Burga in the studio with me. Hi, Prudence.
Hi. Is the excitement? I'm wondering, like, is Cuba that interesting for you? That
It is
just
interesting.
oh my
It
goodness,
is
you're bubbling
interesting.
this
Like, I
morning.
can't wait, because this is one of the countries that I always tell myself I want to travel to. When you try to see, maybe when you make your research and then you see the places, the tourist attractions, oh my goodness, like the places you want to go to, the things you want to do and all of that. So it's more interesting to know that you're going to a peaceful country. So when you talk about Cuba, you're talking about a lot of things. You're talking about what to do. You're talking about where to go to. You're talking about the businesses to do. You're talking about the place to go to and the things to do and the food to eat, most especially. You cannot end up traveling to a place and then you're touring the country and then you don't end up eating something exciting. And then Cuba has delicious deals, like things that you can actually enjoy eating. So you see, I'm excited to go to Cuba. I'm excited to talk about Cuba today. I don't know about you.
All right. Your excitement about Cuba and the way you emphasize the food, I think your selling point with Cuba is the food.
Yes, please.
Well, mine
Okay.
is the fact that it's a Caribbean island.
That's
That's all. The fact that it is a Caribbean
So you're not
island.
going to be eating food I don't get.
No, it comes automatically. I'll try new foods. I want to see what kind of what is their delicacies. What is
Yeah,
the
true.
culinary? I'm actually curious about foods. I want to know how you prepare them. I want to see how it is made and all that. But for me, Cuba is the fact that it is a Caribbean
Caribbean
island. The Caribbean is just oh my
Okay,
goodness.
now I like the expression you're giving. You see, so that's why I'm excited to visit Cuba. And then to talk about Cuba is actually a famous worldwide for its vibrant culture. And when you talk about culture, when you talk about family, when you talk about how they take care of themselves and all of that, like they always tell you family is important to them. Like they stay together and then they make sure you are happy, they make sure everything is fine with you. Of course, Cuba is actually a safe place for you to visit. It's somewhere that when you get to that place, you understand some certain things. You meet people, you talk to people, you understand how things are being done. They teach you a lot of things. So then that's why I'm excited, because when you find yourself in such a country, then you're able
just
to
feel
explore.
And you feel welcome.
Do you understand?
It has a welcome feeling. It's like you're home,
Yeah, you
away
see.
from home.
So it's actually interesting to know that when you visit a particular country, there's something to say about it. You have something to tell other people about, and then you have a lot of things to do. When you talk about the food, when you talk about the tourist attractions, like it's interesting to know. And then talking about doctors they have there and all of that. Like, okay, someone was
They're
telling
good
me,
on
like,
education.
Yes,
It's
they're good. They're
interesting.
almost, I think, 97 point something percent literate.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
something interesting to know. And then the number of doctors they have is something. Said once you realize, or rather once you find yourself in the hospital, you have a lot of doctors, like so many of them to attend to you, to know what you want and all of
It is
that.
actually said that the ratio of doctors to a patient,
patient.
or a person in
Cuba.
to citizens in Cuba is the highest that you can find in the world, and I find that very interesting. So it's like you can't just fall sick and go to the hospital and not be attended to.
It will actually make you want to fall sick. Seriously, because they will give you the attention you need. You know, unlike some other places you find yourself that you're not feeling well and then you're in the hospital and no one is there to attend to you, or rather they attend to you but then they don't give you that attention you need. You know, there are times
you
that
won't see
you
that
find,
in Cuba.
do you get,
You won't
you
find
won't
that.
see that in Cuba.
No.
Like once you're ill, no matter what's wrong with you, you have people who attend to you, who take care of you, who ask you questions. In fact, you get people that want to even interact with you just to make you feel better.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. Somebody can just feel, let me just fall ill so I go to the hospital.
No, nobody
Anyways,
wishes
that's
to
on
be
the lighter note.
On a lighter
actually.
note,
But
no.
then to say the truth, like they give you the attention you need.
Yeah.
They make sure you are fine. They make sure you feel better. That when you leave the hospital, you want to get better on time.
It's always
Like,
a pleasure.
And then someone says,
It's like
it was a
leaving your story was a
pleasure.
pleasure.
So you see, it's interesting to know that Cuba is actually a place for one to visit.
Yeah.
Then when you realize you're in the place, like I always say this, like when you find yourself in a new place, you try to explore. You try to meet people, you get to go to places, you try new meals, so you just know, okay, fine, when I travel to this particular country, I tasted this food, it was actually nice, or rather it wasn't nice, and I don't want to try this again, or rather I want to try this again. Do you understand? So then it's actually something that you should tell yourself. When you go to Cuba, it's actually home away from home, because you're treated comfortably, you're treated peacefully, you're treated with this love. There's this love that comes with it. For them to love their family, for them to put their family first, it means a lot. And then when you find yourself in Cuba, you understand that if you meet two people, when you see families, maybe they hang out together, they go to the beach, they go for a lot of things, then you feel like, I really want to be here. Maybe I should just start up a family in this place. I don't know about that. But then it's interesting to know that when you find...
I think that if I find myself in Cuba, I will not want to leave.
I don't think I want to leave as well. So I think I just want to stay.
I think if I find myself in Cuba, I will want to stay more, like,
True.
Give me more years
to stay
there.
Because you have a lot of
scenery.
things to do. It's not a dull country. It's not a place where you find yourself and then you be like, there's nothing to do today, or there's no place to visit. That's not true. They have a lot of places for you to visit, a lot of things for you to do. When you talk about family, like the role of family is very important to them.
Yeah.
And then they try to make you feel you're wanted, like you're loved, like you don't need to think of any other thing. Like, okay, fine, you're with your people in the house. You know, there are times that you feel, okay, I'm with my family, but you don't feel that there's no, do you understand? But then Cuba is not like that. Cuba is actually a place that you should be excited to be with your people.
You know that what I love about Cuba is the fact that they're all family people. It's like, so you can't just be in Cuba and just feel left out. Everybody is everybody's uncle and auntie. Everybody is everybody's sister and brother. So they take that family ties really keenly. And it's what I found interesting is that a working lady can actually relax. Going out, she goes to work and comes back, relax, because her mother or her mother-in-law is available to take care of those kids. Yeah, so she finds things easy. It actually is good, because you know that you don't lack love. Love is always just around you. You have the parents, you have the uncles. It's like the extended family is family. It's the extended family is it's nuclear family.
Actually, it's nuclear family. So then you don't feel left out for any reason.
At all.
So you can just go to work at any time, come back to the house, and then you realize everything has been done. Your children have been taken care of. Everything is there. Like, you're just happy and comfortable. So then you don't need to think about other things. You don't need to feel, okay, fine, I'm at work, I need to start thinking of what to do and all of that. Have people to so that is why they take family very important. And then when you talk about education, again, education is actually compulsory. That is why the rate they were rated, like, I think the one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
Like, they are really educated. And then when you talk about going to school, it is compulsory for everybody. Then when you go to school, they give you the attention you need. They teach you all the basics, the things that you need, the things that you need to know, you need to understand in order to teach other people. So then they take education very important. It is vital to them, because if you try to tell them, maybe when you try to say, okay, you don't have the money for fees and all of that, tend to tell you, okay, fine, let's do it this way. They can actually place you on scholarship and all of that. Then you realize they're not really much in class. Like, you just have maybe few people, because they need to give you that attention you need. You know, there are children today that need special attention. So then they give it to you to that extent in which you need to know this is the right thing to do. You see people working to school, you see people rushing to school because they don't want to miss out anything. So then it's very important to them. And then they said in 2010s, however, the economic crisis in the country, immigration, and how teachers' salaries have led to maybe shortage of people who don't even want to go to school, but they've encouraged them today for them to try to come to school, to learn, to understand, and all of that. Like, you don't need to tell me you're at home. There are a lot of parents that will tell you they want to homeschool their students or their children at home. They just want to feel, okay, I need to teach them the things they need to know at home first, which is not bad actually. But then if you find yourself in a country like this in which they want to give you the opportunity, the best, why not just take it, grab it? Like, they always say opportunity comes but once.
Grab it with open arms.
Like, like grab it, like just take it, do it. And I feel education is one of the best we need to give our
yes,
children.
actually, it's the best legacy to leave for children, and that's why I really I dig the Cuban government or the Cuban community for taking education so seriously. See, it's the years of education for them, basically. So by 16, you should be practically 16, 17, you should be
School.
done with your secondary school, and from your secondary school, at that moment, you're already getting your bachelor's. When you're finishing the secondary, that's a pre-university. That's what they call it, something like that. Yeah, the pre-university.
Yeah,
So you get that. And when you're getting that, by the age of 25, you should be established. You should be.
It's exciting to know.
Yeah,
that.
exactly. So you grow faster than you can imagine. Like, you reach a level and you're just happy with the achievements that you have made. The Cuban community gives you that edge. It's just beautiful.
Talking about education, like, it's interesting to know, like, the little I know about education in Cuba, like, I feel I want to just start up a life in Cuba, like
So
a
my
family.
children would have a
So
very
my
good
children will have the
education,
do you understand? Because they said the best inheritance you leave your children with today is education. And then if you realize you have given them that, you've established them already, so it's left for them to pick up from there and then tend to do the right thing and work with it and do what is right for themselves. So I feel it's important to know that if you find yourself in Cuba, you actually go to school, you do the things you need to do, even if you're thinking of saying, okay, no, maybe it's not going to be the right thing, or rather I can't afford it, but they'll give you the opportunity to do that. Because if you talk about people gaining admissions and all of that, they make you understand that education is compulsory. So then once you bring yourself to it, then they give you the opportunity to learn. They have a lot of things about Cuba, interesting facts actually about Cuba.
Yeah.
And then I learned Cuba has one of the highest ratios of doctors, as I said, in the world. And then that's when they tell you have doctors that will attend to you at any time.
Yes.
So you don't need to think of saying, okay, what if I go to the hospital by 3 a.m. or 2 a.m.
nobody
there's
will
no one
attend
to
to me.
attend to me. But that's not true. At
That's not
any
an issue.
time, they really know that your life is important to them, so they treat you as something or someone who is important to them as well. They don't just treat you as if you're not human or you're not important and all of that. So then they give you that right to do the things you want to do. And talking about the rate of literacy and all of that, then they said the famous Tropicana shows has remained almost entirely unchanged since it began in 1939. They have a lot of interesting facts about Cuba, a lot of things that you need to understand.
That's why certain things are just, it's just, and one key thing, you know how everybody talks about security, and Cuba has one of the least crime rates. Yeah. I think it's just easy if you have a life that is functional.
True.
And your environment, your community is functional, I don't think that crime rates will be high. So I think that's what Cuba got right in
Of
this.
course, yeah, true. And
They got this right.
True, because when you talk about crime rates, that does not give you the opportunity or the right to be careless. Because you know, once you say, okay, this place is actually a safe country to go to, or it's a place for you to visit, and then, but that does not mean you should be careless about misplacing a lot of things. Don't even think of doing that for yourself.
No.
So
Don't
then,
be careless.
if you find yourself in Cuba, just know that they don't have. Anyways, I think the percentage of recorded crimes is not really said, like, it's not really out per se, but then it's actually a safe country for you to visit. So you don't have a problem with that. Cuba's most popular sport is baseball. As I said, they love baseball a lot, and then so they try to indulge other people. So when you find yourself doing that, you understand you're actually catching fun and all of that. And then voting in Cuba is legally mandatory. Yes,
Wow.
legally, yes.
But then
mandatory.
again, voting is like mandatory in a lot of other countries. But for it to be a key thing, I think they take it really seriously. It's like you're offending the government for not coming out to vote. But one thing I really enjoy, as I said earlier, is the scenery for me in Cuba. So I love the fact that it is the largest island in the Caribbean. So that means you cannot run out of something to see or places to go. No, you can't run out of that. It's just really beautiful. You know what? the fact that it is on the Caribbean islands, as I said earlier, it's beautiful. However, the fact that you can also see the forest, the high thick forest, the mountains, then some small deserts, There's nothing.
I
You
just
can't run
like
out.
I'm
It's
just
just a
imagining
beautiful
myself
country.
like
I'm
I'm just
seeing.
seeing myself
Oh my
in places
goodness.
like that, and then things for you to do and the places for you to visit, just for the excitement and for the
It's
peace of
exciting.
mind you get.
It's
Like it's
exciting.
exciting, and then you tend to meet different people and all of that. Talking of visiting places and tourist attractions, okay, we have the old Havana Plaza. And this particular place really is an old building, really, or rather a preserved place where people actually go strolling, and then
Yeah.
they tend to have like the buildings and all of that. You tend to go there to just maybe have some things to do. It can be okay. I think there's a marketplace close to it where you can just go to get a lot of things you want to get, or maybe you can just shop for anything, and then you can actually see a lot of people and all of that. Like it's actually a place, it's like a plaza where you can just go to see different places
Different
and different
things.
things,
It's
of course. So then when you think of going to places, or that when you think of doing something, just why not try to visit one of these places. This old Havana Plaza is actually a place where one can actually go to see buildings, old buildings, and then to see major attractions, and then the Plaza Cathedral, home to Cuban Baroque, and all different restaurants and all of that
yes.
in it. So in case if you find yourself in that place, don't just think you're going there and then you're not going to get something to eat. Of course, when you
There's
find
always
yourself,
something.
there's always something to eat.
You are really keen on this food thing, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get
But
there
for
actually.
me, the old Havana Plaza, what stood out for me is that if you go to the old Havana Plaza, what you'll find there is that it seems like you're going 200 years back.
Yes.
The place is just still bubbling with historical buildings, and the place is just beautiful. It's so beautiful, so beautiful. And you find beautiful stained glass windows from the first floor, and then you have things from the 18th century, from the 19th century, and things that I'm keen on history. That's why if you let me, I
Of
can
course,
go on
go on.
history and go on and go on.
I get
It's
it.
just beautiful to know that people have stored up history, so much history,
True.
in just a small place as this, and it's just beautiful. I actually absolutely love that, and now I'm beginning to be more hungry to visit Cuba.
You will visit actually if you plan for it.
Yeah, and the next one is the Verado. Wait, take that again. Varadero.
Varadero.
Yes, it's the Varadero. Apologies, please. I'll get
Yeah,
my
of course,
Spanish
we get
better before I
better the
reach
next-
Cuba.
Actually.
Yeah, the Varadero is one place in Cuba that has the famous beaches, the sea and the beach. Oh my
Lord.
god. Oh my goodness. So alright, so I'm
Ah,
already
it's
imagining
home
how
to
so
one of the
beautiful
best
it is.
beaches, like,
yes,
seriously.
yes. And then it stretches. It's a very wide one. It's so we already established that Cuba is a Caribbean island, so you're expecting water, you're expecting
Of
beaches, and all that. But then again, they also have caves.
True. Oh,
Do I want to visit a cave?
don't you want to?
I don't
Are
know.
you serious?
I'm curious.
I want to.
I'm curious about caves, but
Okay.
I've gone hiking in one of these rocks. You know, Plateau is
Yeah.
really a
Rocky.
rocky place. So I've gone hiking on the rocks and all that. I've seen some of their caves. I'm kind of picturing how the Caribbean caves will
True,
look,
true.
and I'm curious. I want to see, but I'm also skeptical because I hate creeping animals. Oh my goodness.
And of course, you're going to see them a lot.
Yeah.
So just imagine one is coming close to your legs. How would you just react?
I mean, I'll probably be shouting in the caves, but then again.
Anyways, it's really going to be exciting, because if you find yourself in such a place, you need to have the experience. Like whatever little thing is going to happen, at least it's just going to be an experience for you.
Yes,
So you
it's
tend
gonna
to
be
say,
a
okay,
lovely thing.
when I went to Cuba, this thing happened to me. People will laugh at you, but then it's an experience. It's something that you experienced there. So then don't just be scared of visiting new places or trying to explore new things.
Yes.
Just try to do something different. Just try to do, at least let's just live the life. Just be happy. Visit places. Like I always say, visit places and live the life. This
Very
life you
true.
only live
If
once.
I find myself in Cuba, I'll definitely visit Varadero because of the lush flower gardens. I'm a garden person. I love nature and flowers. It's just beautiful. I would want to go and see those. They're really beautiful.
And then
They're
we
really
have Trinidad.
Trinidad.
And this is actually another building again where you want to find yourself. It's actually beautiful. They said it's a beautiful restored buildings in the city center, in which when you find yourself, you want to just try to do something different. So Trinidad is one of the best cities in Cuba to visit.
Yes.
And then apart from Havana, he said you can soak up its lively ambience in the Colorstone Plaza, near the city's central square. Above the square stands a church of the Holy Trinity. Of course, there's a place for you to visit, for you to go and pray to God.
Exactly.
And thank Him for
And
bringing you to such a country that you're going to explore a lot of things and to enjoy. Say, East Trinidad on the road to Sanctum Spirit, the place where you find yourself to enjoy a lot of things, where the sugarcane plantations and mills flourished. One of the things that I would love to visit Trinidad for. Then one of the best things to do in Trinidad, Cuba, is simply drive or horseback ride through the beautiful scenery of green sugarcane fields, palm trees, and mountains.
So she has spoken about the modern things, and I'm still going back to my history.
Oh,
the
Lord.
fact that Trinidad is really endowed with beautiful historical buildings.
True.
As she said, it was, as you said, rather. It's interesting that their architecture dates back 17th, 19th century. So it has to be old. The texture
Of course.
itself will be different. It's not what is obtainable today, but then again, it's lasting and it's just beautiful. I would want to visit Trinidad as well.
Same here. I can't be left out.
All right, so we'll go to Gadavalka. We go to.
Gadavalka.
Yeah, I'll find myself there.
Okay.
I promise. I'm going to. I'll send you pictures. I promise.
Oh, really? All right.
Said day trips in Gadavalka include jungle adventures and sailing
I
trips.
love that part. Sightseeing, tours. Of course.
Okay.
Yes. I love adventure, truth be told. I love adventure, but just that if the jungle is okay, it shouldn't be scary actually.
No, funny enough, I just want to see the creatures that you can find in the jungle.
Sure.
And but then again, it said that if you find yourself in the jungle, a lot of times the animals go in hiding, but you would see a number of them. I want to see. I'm curious
I want to
about
see, I want to have the
something.
experience,
Yes.
but please. I'm already scared, but it's actually a place for one to visit. Really, you need to have that experience in order to have something to say, in order to say, I visited this place and this happened, I had fun and all of that. Of course, we're doing it for the fun of it, to live the life to please God and then do certain things that is going to be pleasing to God as well. So when you're visiting countries, when you're doing things, try to do something that is going to be pleasing to other people. Try to put a smile on someone's face. At least it will go a long way for them. Maybe someone just needed that thing that you're going to do to just put that smile on his face, like just that little thing. It will go a long way for a lot of people.
As you're enjoying the beauty of the community, please enjoy the beauty of the people in the community as well,
Actually,
and spread
true.
the love, people.
So we
Spread
have
it.
the Cayo Coco. I love this part because it's another Cuban's idyllic beach destination.
Yes.
So when you find yourself in this particular place, like, do you know what it means to just stand, or rather just be walking inside or beside it, like the breeze that comes with it, like the life you're going to, like, it's just one of the most places that is isolated, but people still visit.
Yeah.
People still go there just to sit beside it.
It's
or maybe
actually
just to,
quiet,
it's
but
actually
beautiful.
quiet but very beautiful. You just said it's beautiful, like it's very beautiful. Like, I need you to put that very. Do you understand?
Okay, very beautiful.
Thank you very much. The part of this place is actually combined by a lot of things. You see a lot of trees beside it where you can just sit to just have that peace, the attraction that comes with it, the attention that comes with it, the peace that comes with it when you find yourself in such a place. It's actually interesting to know that if you find yourself in this kind of place, you don't need to think of something that is going to hurt you or something that hurt you yesterday or something like that. You just need to be happy. Just live the moment.
Yes, and if you are a novel person, you love books,
just-
and you have come across the
Oh.
book The Old Man and the Sea, you would want to go and see that place because that's where the book is set. So you would want to go and see that. It's beautiful that people get inspiration in those
True.
kind of things,
True.
those kind of places. And if you're a writer yourself, I think you would want to visit those places to get such an inspiration. It's really beautiful. I love it. I love it. I
Same
love
here.
it.
Same-
I don't know why I keep saying I love it,
Stressing it.
but I do love it.
Okay, we've said a lot about places to visit and
Yeah.
things to do. I think we still have a lot to
Oh
say.
my
Of course,
goodness.
if you want to find yourself in Cuba, if you want to experience all these places, please, we have a lot of them. Why not just try to go to Cuba maybe for maybe 2-3 months and experience some certain things?
Yeah,
But
and get a
we,
tour guide as
of
well.
course,
It will
of
give you a
course, yes,
beautiful
true. And
experience.
okay, before we talk about food, as I said earlier,
Oh
I
yeah,
think
she has been promising us this food. We're gonna talk about food.
okay, we're going to take a time out. So when we come back, we'll tell you more about Cuba and the food you need to taste. Stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. It's still the Midday Show live on Echo Television. I hope you're having fun. If you're just joining us, please just sit back and just hear what we have to tell you. The little we have left to tell you about the food when you find yourself in Cuba is something you should be excited about. I still have Prudence in the studio with me. Welcome back, Prudence.
And this has to be the highlight of the show for Linda. I promise. She's been talking about food from the
Prudence,
beginning.
you don't want to. Okay. The thing is, when you find yourself in a different country, the first thing you want to do, okay, maybe you want to think of the place to stay, places to visit, and all of that. But to me, I feel places to visit without something to eat. How do you want to end up?
Oh my
I need to
goodness. Oh my
emphasize.
goodness.
I need to
You
emphasize
keep
on
emphasizing
that.
food. I think the Caribbeans will have very beautiful fruits. So
Of
I think I
course.
can run on that for a time, for a period of
I'm
time.
sorry. I'm sorry. Please, I'm not with
I'm
you.
joking.
I can't go to this place with you because
that's a
you're going
joke.
to
That's
starve
a
me to
joke.
death. Please.
No, that's a joke. I know. I'll try their fruits, but
Please.
food is key and important.
They said Cuba has a lot of attractions, and they said one of it is food.
So you have to try.
So I don't have a choice than to try it. And then okay, we have the ropa veja. It's actually one of the meals that okay, let's say maybe it's one of the important meals they have, like something they can give to you as welcoming, maybe let's say a delicacy that they used to welcome you into their country or their home or maybe into their family and all of that. And then when you talk about this meal, you talk about a lot of things that they do and how it's being prepared. That it features tender boiled and shredded meat. You know, I always say anything that has to do with meat, I'm inside. Like, don't
Oh
just
my
joke
goodness.
with it.
Oh my
And
goodness.
then they
There she
have
goes. There she goes.
cooked in flavorful sauce with onions, bell peppers, bay leaves, cumin, and other ingredients. While beef is the commonly used meat in the recipe. Please, it can be prepared with pork, and then in rare cases, chicken. The key to the dish is accentuate the meat's natural flavors. So it's important to handle the boiling process with care. Here's the secret. Try steaming the meat in a delicious bean broth for extra special results.
Do you think I can try this before I reach Cuba so that I can have a feel and a taste to remind me?
Okay now, okay now.
I'm just saying.
Yes, of course. Yeah,
I
you
might
can.
just try doing that in my kitchen before I reach Cuba. But then again, I'll have to go there to taste the original.
Do you understand? Like where it's being
Yes,
made,
we
like
have
the
to try
origin of it.
Okay, then we have rice and black beans. It's interesting how they say it, and because my Spanish is not so good, I think I'm gonna skip that.
Okay.
All right, so it's as we just said, the name is rice and black beans. So the food is rice and black beans. Yes, but then again, this time around, you're cooking your rice to be so tender and so soft and lovely, nice, delicious. I'm trying to give you the best imagery possible. Then you'd also cook your beans to be stew-like and soft and just, oh my goodness, so nice, so beautiful.
Are you eating it
Then
already? I don't understand the way you're saying. I thought you said you don't want to eat food. You're going to just feast on fruits.
I said it was a joke. I said
Prudence,
it was a
please.
joke.
It was a joke, right?
Yes,
All
it
right.
was a joke. So that one, oh my goodness, I can already picture it.
And
Should
how-
we try it?
Yeah, I think we
Okay,
should.
all right, we'll try it.
I think we
But
should
that
actually.
that has to be after the show. We'll
Yeah,
try
of
that.
course. We have the lashon asado, which is the roast pork. Okay, I love pork, so that's why I want to talk about this particular
That's
one.
why. That's why I get it now.
I'm sorry. Is that in the Cuban countryside, tradition of raising pigs is still cherished. So they don't really have a problem with that. It's a particularly in the eastern regions, one culinary masterpiece that stands out in the Cuban roast pork, which is highly desired and eagerly savored by all who taste it. The sight of it alone is interesting to know that this is something that you should taste, you should have, you should eat, and not even think of any other issue about life again. The authentic flavor of this dish is a result of the lengthy cooking process and the captivating mojo salsa.
Yeah.
Of course, the process is going to be difficult, it's going to take time for you to prepare it and all of that, but the aftermath is what I'm after, is what I am actually telling myself. Okay.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right.
Yes,
She keeps imagining this food so much, but I don't blame her. They just seem so delicious. In fact, I can already taste them.
You see?
Oh.
You see that? You see that? I can see, okay, you're already salivating. Oh, Lord. You see, I'm telling you, like, it's actually something for you to try. Do you understand?
Yeah,
So,
I would try it.
you,
I would
when,
try
when, you,
it.
when you prepare it, you can actually prepare it here. Like, we can do that.
We can do that.
I know, you
We'll
see?
try it.
You see? Gradually, you're coming into it.
Then I saw this.
Okay.
It's interesting. The yoka
Okay.
with mojo. It's a Cuban dish that is served at family celebrations, and then it's basically cassava roots. The yoka is
Yeah.
basically cassava. So you
Cassava.
boil the cassava so soft and succulent and nice and
Hmm.
all that, and then why are you already doing that? Okay.
No, like,
All right. It goes well with the roast pork as well, because you can just eat the cassava and then the pork together,
yeah,
and
you
it's
see
just
that? You see?
beautiful. And
So it's good
just-
for you to visit Cuba. Like when you visit Cuba, you eat like mostly there's chicken, there's pork, there's So then you can't
Please
just
don't,
tell
don't,
me
don't make me
you're-
hungry right now. I beg
Are
of you,
you?
please.
Okay, we have the Cubano, which is the
Cuban sandwich.
The Cuban sandwich is cherished creation from the Cuban American community, and then it is its variations, and then the classic ham and cheese. This flavor packed sandwich combines ham, cheese, savory roast pork, a touch of mustard, pickles, and sometimes mojo salsa completes this culinary delight.
These
Of
people
course.
are keen on pork,
You see,
roast pork.
roast pork.
It's like almost every dish has
Yeah, it has
roast pork
yeah,
somewhere
true,
on
true.
it.
Not
It's
surprising, the Cuban sandwich is also one of the Florida's most famous food.
Not surprising.
Not surprising.
Not surprising.
Actually. So,
Well, it's
so
not.
then
It can't
then
be.
you just don't want to wait to taste this. Like the taste alone, and then just imagine you're having this for maybe lunch or maybe dinner, and then with maybe a cold drink to go with it.
Oh my
Are you
goodness.
with me on this?
But I see myself taking it more as a breakfast or
Okay.
a lunch snack. Yeah, breakfast, lunch snack, somewhere around 12 noon. Just
Okay, you already have the time. You see, now you're with me on this, right? Okay.
Oh, I have to picture it like that. If not, it's not gonna work well. As I said, these people really love their pork.
Honestly,
right?
like everything has to do with
yeah,
pork,
the
you see?
Cuban roast pork sandwich. Wow,
Pan con leche.
wow. She just had to do that.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I will not blame her. I'll just go ahead and tell you what the meal is about.
Yeah.
All right. So, it's a delicious meal, a delicious sandwich made of pork. They use it as street foods.
Yes.
Isn't that interesting?
So you see, so you can get it anywhere.
I think we are related.
Oh, really?
Yes, because my people love
Okay.
my people love pork, and
True.
we would. I think we're related. I should be a Cuban.
You should be. Please.
Yes.
By affiliation.
Okay, so it's bread filled with roast pork
Again.
in a yes, and then it's soft bread, and then you can add tomatoes, you can add lettuce and pickles. Pickles. I think I'm going to let
yeah.
go of the pickles. Just saying.
Okay.
All right. Then we also have
Um,
rice and fried eggs. Rice and fried
yeah.
eggs. Lovely. Lovely. Lovely.
Rice and fried eggs. But are you sure you want to do that?
You know I would not.
I know.
But it's
I
just
know.
lovely. I feel like, you know how dishes are just beautiful when they're served appropriately, and you just nice and succulent, and you just seem very appetizing, and you just want to try even when you're allergic to them. And that's what this meal does to me.
I know. That was why I said, are you sure you want to try this? Okay. Anyways, that's by the way. And then when you talk about a delicious meal, this is one of the things you should try. Despite the nations that is a simple meal associated with low income families, this dish proves otherwise. The truth is Cubans hold a deep affection for this dish, especially when paired with a ripe banana, fried egg and rice live up to their straightforward name. The key lies to the texture of the egg yolk, which should be soft to complement the rice dryness.
So I saw on the pictures
Okay.
one with not ripe bananas. It looked like avocado pear.
Okay, yeah.
And I was wondering, I think personally I would let go of the eggs and
Go
stay
for
with
the
the
avocado.
avocado.
Of course.
Yes.
That goes actually.
The meal goes.
Yeah, it goes. So we have the picadillo a la habanera. Yes,
She's
which
trying
is-
hard.
which is the ground beef. So then ground beef, of course, is a delicious dish in which they also prepare. Is one of the.
promises to be delicious
It
already.
promises already. So
The fact that it has beef attached to it is delicious.
so do you get it? Like you have the tomato sauce, the potatoes and olives over low heat actually. Then it originates from Cuban Spanish heritage. It can be made with different types of meat like beef, pork, chicken or turkey. This dish is a popular choice for everybody. Everyday meals in Cuba is usually served with rice, fried ripe plantains and sometimes beans.
I'll definitely do this.
Of course, I know you will do this.
I'm already
Of
picturing
course.
myself
I was
doing it.
actually
I'll
waiting for
definitely
you
do
to
this.
say that. Yeah, of course, it's going to be delicious. Yes. So
I-
it goes with anything.
I feel all the more pricked in my heart and in my spirit to visit Cuba.
Seriously.
And I would. The day is coming. I promise,
Okay.
once again, I'll send you pictures, especially with this very meal, so that I will show you.
Okay.
Hey, take a look.
Okay.
All right, so we have the fried pork chunks.
Masas sado frita.
Did you have to do that? I intentionally.
Okay,
did
it's
not-
for
did
you.
you have to do that?
At least I learned and
Okay.
I tried my
I
best.
I did try, but it's just really hard. I give it to you, all you who speak Spanish. Well done, well done.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful language, and I will learn it. I will learn it. I'm on my way.
Okay.
All right.
We're waiting.
But then the fact that it's fried pork, and just
Again.
chunks of it, it's just you just have chunks of pork, and this is really just sounding very delicious in my ears. Oh my god. Okay. All right.
Just say
So
it
your pork
already.
is marinated in lime or sour juice, orange juice rather. Then you have a pinch of salt when it is being fried. Oh my goodness, it's tasting nice in my mouth already.
Already.
Then
Yes, I
you
know.
crispy fry it. Then you
Yeah.
crispy fry it, and then it's served with mojo sauce and onions. Okay, I'm keen on onions, but don't give Linda that.
Of course, you know that. You know that already. Of course, don't give me that.
Yeah, but I would love this dish. All right,
Okay,
all right.
okay, take it easy.
Alright.
Calm down, calm down. I understand. I know where this is going to. Of course, they have a lot of dishes like something you want to just eat. Something okay. There's another one again, the platano maduro frito, which is fried ripe plantains. That's the one I've been waiting for. Like my love for plantain. When I find myself in Cuba, you don't know what I want to
Are
do.
the Cubans related to the Yoruba people in Nigeria? 'Cause
Please, you have to ask me that.
I'm just
Please,
curious.
you-
But probably they were transported over during the,
Yeah, maybe we should actually check that.
during
Maybe
the
there's
slave
something
trade,
about
maybe.
that. True.
Because this seems like a Yoruba dish, but then that's aside.
Ripe plantains are favorite companion for Cuban meals. So they're brought by American cultures to the
It's actually
island.
African
Of
cultures.
course, it's actually, but then they said American. Okay, yeah, actually brought
African
by
countries.
African cultures actually, and then they add a special sweetness that Cubans love, making them is easy. Of course, it's very easy. Who doesn't know how to fry plantains and?
So you see what I'm saying? It's said they said the African cultures. I really believe that it has to do something with the Yoruba people of Nigeria, but that aside,
Fried
it's,
ripe plantains go
it's the
well with different meal
sweetness. Oh my goodness.
combinations.
It's really sweet.
Of course, like
Oh my god.
Prudence, I can just imagine what you're
Okay.
having right now. Like
Okay.
maybe have white rice and then the plantain beside it, and then the sauce to go with it. And
As-
anyways,
I'm trying to adjust it in my head. So I came. They also have rice dishes. So I'm picturing if I would take the rice dishes and then the plantains,
and then the
come as
avocado.
accompaniment, and then the avocado somewhere.
What a
around.
combination!
And then we have the pork chunks. Oh my goodness, that meal is
You
already
see
set.
that? So then you
Yes.
see your visit to Cuba is just going to be the best, because that was what I was telling you. I was like the meals, like the delicacies you tend to see and then you want to have and all of that. And then when you find yourself in Cuba, there are places where you can go to and get all these African dishes. And then you
Yes.
don't have a problem with it. You can actually prepare them in your house. But most times you can feel, okay, maybe I should just walk out or maybe just go out just to just sit with friends and all of that, just to eat and enjoy the meal. So then they have different meals, like things you can try, things you can just want to eat and enjoy and just have fun and just pass away time and all of that. We have the Cuban pork as well. Like I said, like they love pork. Like anything they're going to prepare, there has to be pork in it. So that's one of the things. That's one of the things that when you find yourself in Cuba. But if you don't love pork, then mostly when you find yourself in any of the restaurants, then you should
can
ask for
opt
something
for-
different.
Yes.
Of course, don't end up eating something that will be a
And-
problem to
And
your
these
system.
meals that we keep talking about and saying pork and all that, they're also being made in different other
Of course, countries.
not just countries, also different other different protein
Okay.
giving. Yeah, you could use a chicken, you could use turkey, and sometimes
Beef as well.
beef, yes, and other times they're also vegetarian meals in Cuba. We don't have those listed right now, but if you just go ask, as we said, the Cubans are really welcoming. So immediately you just tell them at the restaurant, no, I'm a vegetarian, I want a vegetarian meal, you get it. The snap of your finger. You don't
Of
need,
course.
you don't need to fret. You know what? I just thought of this. So
Okay.
earlier, while I was growing up, I kept on thinking that the Cubans are actually in a cube.
Wait,
it's not funny.
Please,
It
at
was
what
my
age?
Man, that should be before around 10
Okay,
10ish. Yeah,
okay.
it came around. I saw
Okay,
that.
that's
and it came
forgivable.
yes. And everybody talks about Cuba, and I thought they were living in a cube, and that's why they were called Cubans.
Of course, and I know someone that's bearing the name Cuba.
Yeah, but later on,
I
when
can
I
just
found out,
imagine.
I felt my ignorance.
But yeah, no, true.
But I
we
really
forgive your
love Cuba.
ignorance, of course. I love Cuba too, because when you find yourself in Cuba, the fact that family is important to them. For me, family is important to me as
Yeah.
well. So then, when you find yourself in Cuba, you tend to understand that they love each other, and then they try to put you on track. Like you need to work with the right people. You need to understand the right thing to do. So when you find yourself in Cuba, you should understand that you're supposed to do a lot of things. You're supposed to do the right things. And then when you learn something, you need to teach other people. And then education, which is compulsory as well,
Yes.
then is something for you to actually tell yourself, I need to visit Cuba, or rather, I need to learn a lot of things in Cuba and to be able to teach other people as well. Then the places to visit as well. They have a lot of places. If you want to visit Cuba and then you're thinking of saying, okay, I need a place to visit, or rather something to do and all of that, you have a lot of things to do. So then
if
you
you're
don't
like
have
me,
a
you
problem.
can start by polishing your Spanish before you reach Cuba.
Actually,
Just saying.
actually,
Have
no,
to
I agree with you really, because because there are some things they will tell you, or they will pronounce it, and then you can't even pronounce it, and then
And
you'll
you
be like,
lost.
okay,
You're
what's
like,
he
okay,
saying?
so
Like,
what did you
okay,
say?
what did you say, and all of that. No, truthfully, you need to learn Spanish and then learn how to pronounce certain things and all of that, and then it will give you just that the vibe to say some things, and then you're able to communicate. Because if you
Easily.
can't communicate with them, then you have a big problem.
Exactly.
Because you don't know what they're saying and you don't even understand anything, and then you can't even say something to them as well. But then they speak English. That's one good thing about them again.
Yes, they
So
do.
if you find yourself there, even if you can speak Spanish, but then you can communicate to them in English, and then you get to understand some certain things and do some certain things as well for yourself. Oh, it's interesting to know
Cuba.
that we
Cuba.
talked about Cuba, 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 Cuba. I said Cuba is not in a cube. Thank you, Prudence.
I'm not going to get out of this.
I'm sorry,
I
Prudence.
promise
You
you,
know
she's
I
going to
love
get
you,
me for
right?
this.
Like we're in this together. Anyways, we've come to the end of it. Thank you, Prudence, for doing this. with
Thank you. It
me.
was a pleasure.
Yeah, of course. I had fun talking about Cuba with you.
I would really love to visit another country with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, thank you, viewers, for staying with us. I hope you had fun and I hope you learned something. In case if there's something you want to know about Cuba, maybe you should drop your comments on our Facebook page and then we'll reply you. Or rather, you can just browse it for yourself and maybe you know better and then you know places to visit. Thank you for staying with us. This is the end of the Midday Show today. I hope you have a blessed day. Bye.